Hey everyone, I thought that I would do a quick little video. As you know, I'm passionate about supporting people clearing clutter. Black Friday is coming up, and I might have missed the boat because I've already seen emails that people are having Black Friday sales last week. I'm worried that I'm going to wake up and someday in July, going to see Black Friday specials. So with Black Friday coming up, I know a lot of people do shopping on Thanksgiving. That really bums me out that now that stores are open. I just read one store, I can't remember if it's Belk that's around here, one store is going to open at noon or 1 or something ridiculous, so people can't even have an afternoon family dinner and hang out with their friends and enjoy Thanksgiving. So I want to first talk about Black Friday because I see that a lot of people can get sucked in. And I think the energy around Black Friday is that FOMO, fear of missing out, right? I'm going to miss out on a special. I'm going to miss out on getting something I want. It doesn't even matter if I already have it or if I don't need it. There's all that energy and fighting, and I have to grab its mind and make sure I get it so no one else can take it. So there is that real crazy energy. I haven't gone shopping on Thanksgiving. I haven't gone shopping the day after. And so because that personally for me is crazy. When it gets that insane, that's energy that I don't want to be around. But I think between people, your friends, what you see, an advertisement, it's created this real fear of missing out. So we kind of go in crazy and buy all this stuff. And if you buy stuff you don't need or that other people don't want, it ends up as clutter. So I'm going to encourage you first, if you're shopping on Thanksgiving or if you're shopping the day after or anytime this week, take a deep breath. Don't just have that knee-jerk reaction of fear of missing out. I got to buy. I'm going to encourage you to switch your frame to say, what about the joy of missing out? I have the joy of missing crowds. I have the joy of being able to spend time with my family and friends instead of having to rush and leave early to get some great deal. So instead of automatically getting in that mode where you're going to buy, take a breath, take a deep breath and step back. I'm going to encourage you to write a list. Have you ever plotted out and planned every single gift you need? Now, I'll do something at the beginning of the year, but I always encourage you to go through your entire year and create a list of who you need gifts for. And when you're doing it for Christmas, and then put a monetary limit. How many of you have woken up with credit card hangover in January, right? You're like, oh, I had this budget, but I got crazy. I saw these specials and then ended up spending $1,000 instead of $500. So I encourage you to create a monetary limit next to your list. One of the reasons or one of the ways you can avoid clutter is simply asking people what they want for Christmas or the holidays. You know, I think we make these assumptions or we feel like people need all these things and we buy and maybe it's something that they don't want or they don't need or they're not going to use. And so ask what people want for the holiday season. Again, that's a great gesture if you're very generous and want to buy, but you know, there's this trend, especially for younger kids, they don't want stuff. They don't want all the possessions that their parents have. And this stuff ends up in landfills, it ends up in attics that someone has to declutter or they have to hire someone like me. So be very aware and ask people, what is it you really need this Christmas? No, we just did a round of downsizing and we're going to do another downsizing in the beginning of the year. And for someone who goes through stuff every single year, I'm like, wow, I have a lot of stuff. And in my mind, and because I do this for a living, I know on one hand it's not a lot, but I'm encouraging you just become aware and ask people what they want. The other thing I'm going to suggest is consider experiences. What experience could you give to your friend or your family? It could be maybe a day out with you. It could be a day at the spa. Perhaps it is if you have a child that loves acting, that you buy them acting lessons, and that's something they really enjoy instead of, again, something that's full of clutter. So consider the possibility of buying an experience, because again, that's not going to turn into clutter. You have to remember at some point, if it's something that's not used regularly, that's what it's going to turn into. And it's like those 10 for 10 deal at Kroger's. There are 2 adults in my household. So it's very rare that we could use something, 10 things that we'd use within in a short amount of time, and it's just taking up space in the pantry. So become more aware. What is your space? What are your needs? What is, where can you put everything that you own? I'm also going to suggest, what about memberships? What about a gym membership for someone, or tickets to a play, or tickets to a concert? There are lots of things. I'm old because I didn't realize, concerts are expensive, like a couple $100 now, I think, for the nosebleed seats, depending on who you see. And if there are a couple, you say, hey, let's all go in and get our niece the tickets to the concert that she really wants. And if we all go in, we can buy one for her to take a friend to. So consider that something. You can purchase services. Anyone wants to buy me pet sitting services, you are more than welcome to. I'm sure my pet sitter would really enjoy getting some extra cash before she had to actually sit. Or babysitting services, or have someone come out and do a design consult for your friend that's really into having her inside of her home look really groovy, or something out of house beautiful. Those are experiences that you can buy or offer. Say, hey, you know what? I know you're a busy mom. I'm going to babysit for you. I'm going to give you 2 weekend nights of babysitting. Tell me when you want to redeem those. Or offer to make a meal, right? If you're hectic or someone gets sick, they can say, hey, I really would like to have that meal now. So those are a few ways that you can not have to buy gifts, but give something that's going to be something that the person would really like and appreciate. Also consider buying used. I laugh. I remember once ages ago, I heard this housewife said that she would never lived in a used house, which that's kind of ridiculous to me. But I don't know what's going on, but I've seen a couple posts recently of women wanting to sell their engagement rings. I'm guessing the wedding's off. If you want to buy a nice ring for someone, consider that and having it reset if you don't want to use that exact ring. And then you can maybe sell, people buy gold. So there are all sorts of things that you can buy used. If you are someone that has a baby and likes to jog, some of the consignment shops in the really ritzy neighborhoods have stuff that is in great condition and barely used. And then you're not buying something else and creating more clutter. You're buying used, which is good on the environment. So those are something that you can check out. Instead of getting a ton of decorations, or if you're someone that buys decorations every year, what can you look outside? You can grab some pine, maybe from the back of the woods. So we live near a wooded area. We back up to one, or something to create a garland on your tree. You can pop popcorn and put some cranberries and put a little, not a garland, but whatever you'd call that on the tree. That's something else that you can consider doing. Again, instead of buying that stuff, because when we get into that mode and that frenzy, especially this is a thing that bothers me that Black Friday creates. They create that fear that you're going to miss out on something. And then you get a little stressed out and feel like, oh my gosh, what am I going to miss? So you have that options. And again, know what you have. If you have decluttered and are organized, then you are going to know, I do this before the store, but do it for your shoes. Do it for your clothes, anything if you have. If you know what? Oh, wow, I didn't realize I had 5 sweaters. I have 5 black sweaters. I'm definitely not going to get another black sweater or ask for another black sweater this Christmas. So when you know that, know what you have, then you're less likely to bring more clutter into your space. And, earlier I mentioned asking people what they want. And the flip side of that, tell people what you want. My sister-in-law said to me recently, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, you know what I want? I want a pair of really warm slippers. And I put up and took a survey in one of my women's group. And I said, what are the warmest socks or slippers you have? And people gave all these answers. There was a general consensus on one. And I said, I know they're having a sale. Don't pay full price, but get me a pair of slippers, because that's something I need. Someone said to me, I don't buy material goods for Christmas for people. No one in my family. That's great. That's absolutely great if you can do that, but that's not realistic for most people. So again, if we bring it back to what you want or you need or you're going to use, like my husband, for instance, he's getting older. He does a lot of work in the garage. He wants a stool. That's what he's getting for Christmas. He wants a stool where he can sit on his workbench and do it, because he's getting tired as he ages, and that's what he needs. So it's not clutter if he uses it. So it's just becoming more mindful and more aware. And again, I want you to remember for Black Friday, and hello to Jackie, Tracy, and Kim, just to take a deep breath. Hey, MJ, thank you. That know what you own, know what you need to buy. You're not missing out on anything, and ask yourself if you really need it. And I'm also going to encourage you post-holiday, go through what you have and let go of stuff. If you got a bunch of new clothes, now's the time, or then will be the time to go through your closet. Kids get a bunch of toys, take the time to declutter that. And again, you give it away. I always like to say thank you for serving me, thank you for letting me use you, or thank you for keeping me warm. A little bit of gratitude, and then you know that what you're releasing is going to go and support someone else. So don't get crazy on Black Friday. I want you all to take a deep breath. This will be whatever recorded, so you can watch it and you can find out, hey Billy, you can listen to this again and points, because I want you all, and let me know. I want you to say, hey, you know what? I did really well on Black Friday. I didn't go crazy. I only bought what I needed. I brought what people asked me to do. I went through my stuff and I didn't buy anything unnecessary. And if you are challenged when it comes to clutter, don't forget, I just published my series on journal prompts. So you can check that out on Amazon. I'll put a link below. 365 journal prompts for clearing your clutter. We've got physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, holiday, and then some compilations. So if you're struggling with clutter, definitely check those out. All right, everyone, have a great night. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free and I will answer them. But again, I don't want you caught up. You got this Black Friday. Black Friday is not going to have sway on you. You're going to be smart and you're not going to wake up with a credit card hangover in January. All right, everyone. Have a good night. And hopefully we'll get snow. I'm wearing my snow jammies. And now that's the other thing I want to say. You can be in your jammies. That's why I wore these, because you don't have to go to the store to go crazy. Now you'd miss out perhaps on some brawls and fighting, which is a good thing. But we've designed it in a way with things like Amazon that you can go just as crazy. And sometimes it's easier to go nuts when you're doing online shopping. You know, Amazon does those crazy Black Friday sales and all that going on. So the same principles apply. You can still have your list, have your budgetary limit, and be very aware of what you really need, instead of just going and thinking, oh, this is such a great deal, I have to have it, even if I have no need or use for it. All right, everyone. Take care.